Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is Brad Lewis with Premier Marketing. Hey, we are excited about our call today. This is one of the carrier updates that we have for you where we want to learn more about the products that are available from Mutual of Omaha, specifically from their simplified issue product portfolio. And this ties back to where we started back on August 6th when we kicked off our series of webinar from the Life and Annuity Resource Center. So if you remember, or if you were part of that, that started with the webinar called Double Your Income. So where Sean Ruggiero, Integrity Partner and a good friend of mine, took us through a way that you could double your income over the next year by speaking to the clients you already have and using the license that you already have. So no additional requirements for clients, no additional requirements for licenses or updates to your credentials to offer different products, just by implementing new ideas into your practice and helping your clients even more as they prepare for the better days ahead. So we followed the Double Your Income webinar with understanding the Life and Annuity Resource Center. And then we talked about the 8 reasons everyone needs whole life insurance, how to use the financial inventory to create sales, what types of life insurance do we write, and now we're on to learning more from the carriers on the product specifics that they have to kind of fill some of those holes that your clients have and help them be successful creating a strong retirement plan to carry them into the future. So a little bit more about the Life and Annuity Resource Center. That's found on our website. So once you get into the agent portal, you go into there and you'll see Life and Annuity Resource Center. All the webinars that I spoke about that are previously took place are hosted on the Life and Annuity Resource Center, so you can go back and review them as many times as you'd like, or if you happen to miss one, you can certainly go back in and view those as well. So we are excited today to have David Neal on the phone with us today with this webinar, and he's our representative from Mutual of Omaha. David's a great friend of Premier. He has a person that works very closely with him, and that's Lynn. And Lynn helps us do a lot of the troubleshooting out there, helps us day to day in the operation of working with Mutual of Omaha to make sure everything goes well. And we're just excited to have David on the call today. And David's going to take some time to talk about the simplified issue portfolio, but then take a deeper dive into one product specifically, and that's their IUL Express product, which we found very helpful and helping clients prepare for the good days ahead. So.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much, Brad, for that introduction, and thanks to all of you for joining today. Very excited for this opportunity. And as Brad mentioned, what I'm going to cover today is, and again, by further way of introduction, I'm the brokerage sales director on the life side, and Lynn Copel is the account executive that supports me. And of course, we work very closely with Premier, as Brad mentioned, and all of the producers and agencies that are affiliated with Premier. But what I wanted to do today is give you just a very brief kind of high-level overview of our simplified issue product portfolio, and then, as Brad said, drill down a little bit more specifically on our Index Universal Life Express policy, which is our simplified issue IUL policy. So I always like, and Brad has probably heard me say this dozens, if not hundreds of times, I always like to start a presentation like this, really any presentation, with a little bit about, why should you do business with us, a little bit about the company, a little bit about Mutual of Omaha. And this is by no means meant to be a company commercial or us patting ourselves on the back, but some of you may be new or newer to Mutual of Omaha, maybe certainly on the life side, and I want you to feel very comfortable with who we are and have that confidence with who we are, not just from a product perspective, but also from a company perspective. So certainly, just going quickly down the list here, our brand recognition, our name recognition is certainly a very significant competitive advantage for us, and then of course by extension a competitive advantage for all of you. You're never going to be in a position where you're going to have to describe or explain who Mutual of Omaha is. So that's one thing, that's one potential hurdle we take off the table. Of course, very strong and financially secure for now about 116 years, so obviously over 100 years. The dedicated team, there's myself and Lynn, and then there's the great folks at Premier that support you. But there's a lot of people behind Lynn and I. We're just sort of the tip of the iceberg that are here to support you. And then again, our very competitive simplified issue product portfolio that we'll be touching on, and then some issues as it relates to process or application. So a little bit more on the kind of the financial stability and strength of the company. As you can see here, we have very strong ratings from all three major rating agencies. And again, often, frankly, also, often in the simplified issue space, this doesn't come up a lot, but I think it should. Again, you should take a look at the companies you're doing business with and make sure they have that financial strength and stability, so they'll ultimately be there for your clients. And again, a little bit more about the brand. If you're an old guy like me and Brad, sort of, I guess, you grew up watching, our Mutual of Omaha's television program on Sunday evenings. That really is, especially within a couple different marketplaces in the life insurance marketplace, it's really helpful to us because a lot of people know our name. And again, it's just that brand recognition. We're doing a lot of things to keep that out there. We've actually last year relaunched the Wild Kingdom show. It's a newer version, a little bit of a different focus, but again, we put that back out there. And you might be thinking, well, why is that important? Again, anything we can do to keep our name out there, the Mutual of Omaha name out there, is going to help you when you're working with clients and prospects and you're suggesting a solution that involves a Mutual of Omaha product. Again, we're putting our name out there as often and as effectively as we can. And so that's going to be something that is going to be something that is familiar. That name is going to be familiar with your clients. And then there we are. I'm not on camera today, and neither is Lynn, but that's who we are. And I'll be sending this slide deck, and I think you'll be getting recording of this, so you'll have this recording and or the slides. But there is our contact information. So I want to sort of next touch on a concept that I talk about a lot, and I'm not sure if we would call this a slogan or a motto or, like I said, a concept, but just hear me out on this because I think this is very important. So this whole notion, this whole idea of never leave a client need unmet. It used to be that we would say never leave the home without a sale, and that's okay as well. But we realize I think this is a better way of approaching it because it's more client focused. And so never leave a client need unmet. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, with Mutual of Omaha, and again, I know a lot of you that are familiar with us already know this, but for those of you that are not, we truly put you into a situation where you can never leave a client need unmet. And what do I mean by that? This slide I love because it shows our simplified issue product portfolio. And just our simplified issue product portfolio, I'll be talking about some other products later, but it shows you, in this case, we've got products that can cover your clients, your prospects and your clients from issue ages of 2 weeks all the way out to 89 years old. And so why is that important? Let's say you're meeting with a client and let's say, I don't know, it's a final expense scenario, a final expense sale, but you uncover additional needs that in meeting with your client. We put you into a position where you can pivot, you can truly pivot, and we will have a product there that will be able to effectively be part of the solution for your client. And so that's kind of what we mean by, when you tap into our simplified issue product portfolio, you really are in a position to never leave a client need unmet. We are far from a one-trick pony, as they say, because we have such a competitive product portfolio. So that's what if you hear me and others talking about never leave a client need unmet, that's what it's talking about. And really at the heart of it, it's cross-selling. And a lot of us are interested in cross-selling. There's a huge opportunity in cross-selling. And that's really part of the basis, if you will, of what never leave a client need unmet means. And we allow you to do that with our comprehensive portfolio. Just real quick here on our simplified issue product portfolio, for those of you that might be new or newer to us, or perhaps the life insurance side of things, simplified issue underwriting is just that. It's a very quick and efficient underwriting process in which we remove a lot of what are at least perceived to be the traditional underwriting hurdles, right? The exam, the lab work, all of that. Now, we have, and I'll touch on them briefly, coming up here in a little bit, we have fully underwritten life insurance products for larger face amounts where your client will need to go through the full medical underwriting process, and that's fine. That's just how that side of the market operates. But with our simplified issue product portfolio, you can offer all the products you see here on the left, and we're going to touch down specifically on our IUL Express product. You can offer all these products with truly simplified issue underwriting. And again, that's a huge advantage to your clients because, again, a lot of them, right or wrong, are going to see some of the traditional hurdles to underwriting and maybe not want to proceed. We give you an opportunity with these products, and I'll get into some detail, but we give you an opportunity to offer your clients this coverage with a very streamlined underwriting approach. And of course, what that means is that most importantly, I think, is that means your clients get the coverage they need as quickly as possible, but also very importantly, you get paid as quickly as possible for the very hard work you're doing out there in the field. So, as I mentioned, and Brad mentioned, I gave you a very brief, sort of 30,000-foot view of our entire simplified issue product portfolio. And now I'd like to drill down a little bit more specifically on our Index Universal Life Express product, our IUL Express product. And just so you know, we use a lot of jargon in this business. Mutual of Omaha is not immune to that. And so when you see the word express, that's basically synonymous with simplified issue underwriting. So when you see Index Universal Life Express, this product is our simplified issue underwriting IUL product. And just a little bit more here, for those of you that might be a little bit newer on the life side, Index Universal Life, or IUL products, have really dominated the life insurance marketplace for a number of years for a lot of good reasons in terms of the flexibility of the product and the dynamic nature of the product, and we'll touch on that. A lot of times, I talk to producers and our distribution partners all day, every day, and have for years, decades. And one of the things I hear about when somebody is looking at an IUL policy and they haven't sold it yet is that they're a little concerned about some of the additional moving parts. And there are additional moving parts, certainly versus a whole life policy, certainly versus a term insurance policy. Those products are going to be very appropriate in a lot of scenarios. But I always say with an IUL Express or any IUL policy, those additional moving parts are a good thing, not a bad thing. A good thing, not a bad thing. And I say that because those additional moving parts, if you will, are what makes the product so dynamic and flexible. And so what I'm going to do here on this slide, and I think the next slide, is sort of just demystify it. I don't want anybody that has not written an IUL policy to be hesitant. I won't say afraid, but to be hesitant to take a look at the policy. And it's really pretty straightforward. You can see the slide. You'll have copies of this recording and the slides, but it's really pretty straightforward. The client pays the premium. Part of that goes towards charges in administrative charges. Then part of that goes to accumulation value. And then from there, it goes either to the fixed account or to one of the indexed crediting strategy buckets, if you will. We have 4 different index crediting strategies I'll touch on briefly. But the whole point of this is that is a cash value life insurance policy, okay? It's a universal life insurance policy. And I don't know if you can see my cursor here, but in the lower right, it's a cash value life insurance, universal life insurance policy. But one of the biggest attractive features or attributes of an IUL policy is the policy's performance, or the growth of the cash values has a much larger upside potential because it's tied to an index, which gives them a much higher, the potential for a much higher growth. We also offer the fixed the fixed account, which would be very similar to a traditional universal life. So there's a lot of flexibility with this policy. And here, this is just another way of looking at it in terms of understanding how it works and really just trying to demystify the product. And again, I know a lot of you actively sell this product and a lot of it and sell a lot of our product. And so thank you very much for your business. But again, for those of you that are newer, hopefully this takes a little bit of the sort of the mystery out of it. A little bit more on the product in terms of some product specifics. Really pretty straightforward, as you can see here under available face amounts. What I really like about this product, and for those of you, by the way, that have sold our Term Life Express product, or TLE, the underwriting, but have not yet sold our IULE, I want you to know that the underwriting between TLE and IULE are identical. So that's kind of should be sort of one, area of comfort if you've not written this product, IUL Express, but you've written our TLE. And you can see here the face amounts. What I always like to point out is what's great, one of the many great things about this product is that you can offer your clients up to $300,000 of coverage at these younger issue ages with truly simplified issue underwriting. Again, that streamlined underwriting process that removes all the hurdles that, or at least perceived hurdles, that your clients are going to be talking to you about, saying, I don't want to take an exam, I don't want to do the lab work, I don't want all this extra stuff. You can offer them up to, at younger issue ages, up to $300,000 of coverage with that truly simplified issue underwriting. And then over here, you can see we have 4 different indexing strategies. We'll touch on that. We won't get too much into the detail of that. I have a separate presentation which gets into that I'd be happy to discuss with any of you. But again, these are the different indexing strategies we offer, and we'll touch on that here. One of the things I really, and again, for those of you that are already actively engaged with us on the life side, you'll know this, but one of the things I really, not just this product, but all of our products that I think is a huge competitive advantage for Mutual of Omaha is we have a product design and pricing philosophy that focuses on providing you and your clients a very competitively priced and designed base product, which you certainly have with IUL Express, but then to build out that product offering, if you will, with additional riders. And so that's the case here. So we have both cost riders, and no cost riders. Now you look at these cost riders, obviously, cost riders, they're available at an additional cost. Fairly traditional riders here. You don't have to use any of them. You can use 1 or 2 of them or all of them. But know that that's available. So that's a very nice way to kind of build out that conversation or build out that product offering with your clients. And so those are important, but where I think a really great part of our story comes with this product. And again, for those of you that have sold our Term Life Express, our TLE product, you're familiar with some of these riders. And that are these riders are no cost riders. I touched on our cost riders. These would be the no cost riders. Guess what? They're available at no additional cost. They're automatically included. So you can see what they are. And I would very much say and argue, if that's the right word, that they are very much very much anchored, if you will, by our living benefit riders for terminal, chronic, and critical illness. Because again, this allows you to talk to your clients about something other than a death benefit. Now, granted, with an IUL policy, you've got the cash values. You're already going to be talking about something other than the death benefit, at least I think so or hope so. But what these living benefit riders do is allow you to just, again, have a much broader conversation with your clients. And again, not just talk about cash values in the case of an IULE or an IUL product, but also talk about, and the death benefit, but also talk about the living benefits that are available. And this slide right here, I won't read through it, but these are the our living benefit riders, and it talks about what this mentions is how one might become benefit eligible, or what are the triggers. We get a lot of questions about that. Well, how does one become benefit eligible? And you can see for terminal illness, chronic illness, and critical illness, these are the conditions here with which one would become benefit eligible. And one thing I want to point out here as well that I think is again, this is a great thing to be talking to your clients about, because you're talking about living benefits, not just death benefits. But sometimes people forget this part, which I want to highlight now, is remember, we all know that life insurance death benefits are always received 100% income tax free, right? These benefits, and we get the question a lot, like, where are these benefits coming from? These benefits, when somebody becomes benefit eligible, these benefits are these living benefits are paid out through an acceleration of death benefit. And like I just mentioned, life insurance death benefits are received 100% income tax free. These are paid out through an acceleration of death benefit. So these benefits are also paid out 100% income tax free. So I think you can see how this story, this explanation, if you will, the benefits of this product and the riders, it continues to build and build. Just a few things, and a lot of these slides are very basic because it gives me an opportunity to just sort of tell you, how the product works and how to position it. We'll get to that in a moment. But some of the highlights, kind of broad highlights of our IULE product is, I've talked about sort of the upside potential and the attractive nature that all IUL products offer in terms of that upside potential of the cash value growth, because it's tied to the performance of an index, giving them that upside potential. But keep in mind also that there's a 0% floor. You might have heard the phrase "zero is the hero." We often talk about the upside potential of an IUL product, as we should. But remember, the clients are put into a position where they essentially cannot lose because they have that 0% floor. And our IULE product also has a built-in no lapse guarantee for 20 years. So even though it's a lot of focus on the upside potential and some of the non-guaranteed elements, there is some focus and features built around guarantees. And again, I already touched on some of this stuff in terms of the flexibility and the dynamic nature of the product in this last area here. Just talking about, kind of essentially what simplified issue underwriting is. A little bit more on the basics of the product, and a lot of these might sound simple, and that's okay if they're simple. It still doesn't mean it's not something we should be talking about, right? So it is a permanent life insurance solution. Again, I guess, obviously, but the reason I bring that up is we sell a lot of term insurance. You folks, I'm sure, sell a lot of term insurance. Thank you. Term is the appropriate product in a lot of different scenarios. But there are going to be circumstances, of course, where your clients are going to want more of a permanent life insurance solution, and that's what IUL Express offers. Again, we've already talked about a lot of this, I guess, on this slide. The simplified issue underwriting, and then again, that upside potential of the cash value growth, because the performance is being tied to an index, and then some of the flexibility of the product as well. So a little bit more about kind of target market or how to position this product for those of you that are new or newer to this product type, IUL. It's a life insurance product, right? So it can be used in a variety of different ways. I will say, although I don't think it's pointed out here on the slide, overall, this product, it will be more attractive to your younger clients. Now, I know that's a very vague and subjective term, word, or phrase. But what I mean by that is, once somebody understands how the product works and they understand how they can take advantage of the tax-deferred growth and then have access to over time, take advantage of the tax-deferred growth of the cash values and have access to the cash value on an income tax-free basis, those individuals that are younger have more time, have a greater opportunity to take advantage of those features. But again, it can be used in almost any scenario where you might use life insurance. I would urge you, where appropriate, for those of you that are active in the final expense world, and of course, I'm sure many of you are familiar with our Living Promise product, which is our final expense product. And we're the market leader in final expense, so we do a very good job with that product. But take a look at this product IULE as a potential for a final expense alternative. It's very compelling story, as well as looking at this product as a alternative to term, or perhaps term being sold in a mortgage term scenario. Now, I mentioned that this product does have some additional moving parts, and if you're new or newer to IUL, you do need to, I would urge you to learn about the product so you're comfortable with it. I don't think you need to know every single detail about the product, but I think it's a great idea for those of you that are just getting to learn about IULs to educate yourself, frankly. And we have a variety of different, a lot of different materials available to help you in that area. And if you are not yet appointed or contracted with Mutual of Omaha, you would not yet have access to our full producer website, SPA, Sales Professional Access. But if you go to this website here, excuse me, we call it our Simplified Issue microsite. You can go to that website before you're even appointed with us with no login credentials, and you can get access to a lot of different material as it relates to, well, not just IUL Express, but all of the products in our Simplified Issue product portfolio. So you've got a lot of things there. And again, the advantage of the Simplified Issue microsite is that you can get access to it without any login credentials. So when we look at kind of drilling down a little bit further into IUL, the interesting thing about this is up until about 4 months ago, Mutual of Omaha, was the only company that offered a truly simplified issue IUL product. Okay, we've always had our two fully underwritten products, fully underwritten IULs. I'll touch on those briefly, but we own the market. There was no competition. That's changed. We have some competition now. And so, but we welcome it. And again, we were alone in the marketplace for 3 years, or a little over 3 years. And now we have competition. And I'm not just saying this, we really do welcome it, because it allows us to emphasize our value proposition and to sort of position ourselves, okay? Because now we have something to compare against. And so this is going to be probably a little bit more meaningful for those of you that are already active in this space, and you're looking at some of the different companies that are out there with IUL product offerings. But I wanted to drill down a little bit and take a look at kind of comparing some of those costs. And so one of the things that we have always said and believed, not only on our IUL Express product, but across our IUL Express product, the Simplified Issue IUL, and our two fully underwritten IULs, is we across all three products, we have the same product design and pricing philosophy. And it is and I'm a broken record on this, and I probably will be here for the next few minutes, it's very much focused on low fees, low expenses, transparent design. What you see is what you get. And simple and transparent and all of that does not mean non-competitive, and I'll show that to you here in a minute. But I'll quantify that for you, if you will, here in a minute. But that is our story. When you compare us against other companies that are offering IUL products, in this case, Simplified Issue IUL, we win big, and we win big for your clients because of our low fee structure and some of the other things you see here. So, and we mentioned that again, and we're happy to have competition because it allows us to talk about this value proposition, because frankly, some of the other companies out there don't follow that same philosophy. I, of course, have great respect for all of our competitors, all great companies and great people and great products, but there are different philosophies with the product design and pricing of some of these products. We just have a different approach. Again, it's that low expense approach. And again, so we're going to look at comparing some costs and features. Sometimes it's hard to compare these things because illustrations are complicated. They're 30, 40 pages long, and you're trying to get a handle on what it's all about, and then you need to describe it to your clients and explain it to your clients. We like to take an approach where we offer you and your clients an extremely competitive product that illustrates very well, but we don't play a lot of games. And so, if you think about it, kind of put our money where our mouth is, so to speak, right? When I talk about low expenses, when I talk about our philosophy of simple, transparent, low fee, low expense designs, let's quantify it. Okay, so here, basic scenario. We're not going to name the competitor here. There's no need to. It's just a concept that we're talking about here. It happens to be one of the companies that have recently launched a simplified issue IUL product. But what this shows you, basic scenario, $200,000 death benefit. You can see the ages here, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then some numbers after 20 years and then after 40 years. But this tells the story this slide and the next slide are two of my favorite slides in any of our presentations because it quantifies the story. So if you look at this, and I won't read through the whole thing, but you look at the cumulative premium and and you look at the charges, and then so obviously the higher the charges, the less of that money of your clients' premium dollars are going to the cash value. So the higher the charges, the worse it is for your clients. And that's what this quantifies here. So if you look at, let's just look at a male age 40 here, and you look at after 20 years, and again, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but age 40, if you look at the IUL Express from United of Omaha, which is us, the life arm of Mutual of Omaha, after 20 years, 53% of the premium has gone towards the accumulation value versus our competitor with 28%. You go down here after 40 years, and you can see 29%, even later duration, all the way out 40 years, 29% in this scenario of premium going towards the accumulated value, where in this situation, you can see it across the board with this particular competitor at age 30, 40, 50, and 60, they're actually negative on it. In other words, the cash values, you can see it here, the cash, the total cumulative charges have exceeded what's available, have exceeded the available cash values. And so that really, at least I hope, quantifies why it's important to have that low fee structure, because what is being taken away in terms of higher fees and expenses is being taken away from your client, and they're never going to get that back, and it's going to impact ultimately, regardless of how it illustrates, it's going to impact that policy's performance. This is the same screen. You may not even notice what changed here. This is again the male here, and this is female. Same story, same scenario, just looking at female versus male. And again, you can see there's some differences in relative terms, but you can see how this tells our story of the importance of having those low fees. Again, to take anything away from this at all, this session today, know that we are the market leader in IUL, specifically simplified issue IUL with our IUL Express product because of this low fee design. And this quantifies it for you. And again, not to get too much into the details here, but I mentioned how we don't play some of the illustration games that some of our competitors play with a lot of non-guaranteed bonuses and multipliers and a lot of things that make the illustration look really, really good, but ultimately are just non-guaranteed elements that probably won't ultimately impact the product performance. And so, we're just looking here at one of our competitors, happens to be the same one I was showing you on the last two slides, that just have a different philosophy. They have a crediting rate currently at 8.42% versus ours at 5.92%. Again, I'm not being critical. I'm just saying, please take a look at this, whatever company you're looking at. Is it realistic to have a product that is going to credit at 8.42% versus our 5.92? I mean, what does this particular company know that all the other companies don't know, et cetera? So the point being is we take a more conservative approach, but that doesn't mean it's a non-competitive approach. It just means, it just means that we have a more conservative approach to product design and product pricing. And then here's another way of looking at just talking about a realistic crediting strategies. This just shows, you can see here, male age 40, $200,000 death benefit, and it shows at different interest rates, how long coverage goes out to, how long coverage is maintained. At our current max illustrated rate of just under 6%, 5.92, goes all the way out to age 120. And then you can see, obviously, as that crediting rate goes down, the duration that the coverage stays in force also goes down. But that's just another way of looking at, how this product works and the flexible nature of the product. Real quick here, I already talked about our living benefit riders, but as it pertains a little bit more specifically to some of the competitors that have entered this marketplace who may also have living benefit riders, just take a closer look. For example, on our critical illness rider, we provide some additional benefits that some of our competitors do not. You can see what those are. Hold on one second. You can see what some of those are, as well as some of the differences between our chronic illness rider and our terminal illness rider versus our competitors. I've mentioned this a couple of times, I think, throughout this session. I've made reference to our fully underwritten IULs. So just real quickly, again, we have 3 IUL products. One that is our simplified issue product, Index Universal Life Express, which we just looked at. But we then have 2 of our fully underwritten IULs, which are extremely competitive. And again, the chassis, the design, the pricing, everything about it, across all 3 products, all 3 IULs, that same design philosophy, low expenses, low fees, is across all 3 products. So, and I'd be happy to do another session for you folks, focusing just on our fully underwritten IULs. But just know that these products are available. That these products are available for you for those larger face amounts. In excess of 300,000. Again, 300,000 is the maximum amount available on our IUL Express product. So if you run into scenarios, and you will, where you need greater coverage or higher coverage amounts, you can go to one of our 2 fully underwritten IUL products. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I guess I mentioned this, so no need to go into a little bit further detail. If you want to take a shot of that QR code, you can do that. But again, this is our simplified issue microsite, so that you could go to this site, even if you're not appointed with us, and get some information on these products. And then last but not least, I wanted to talk about our 4 Quarters Club, which is our producer bonus program that we introduced back last year, January 1st of 2023. Now, this is a program that is continuing this year and is at least planned or meant to be a permanent program. And we're not the only company that has a producer bonus program, but I wanted to tell you a little, if you're not already familiar with it, I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. So a couple of things about it, just to give you a kind of a high level overview. So what it is, so this is a bonus, right? So this is on top of all the regular compensation or commissions you would earn from selling one of our products. So it's in addition to that. Obviously, that's sort of the definition of a bonus. It's a 10% bonus. We give you 4 opportunities to earn this bonus. Unlike some of our competitors that offer 1 chance, like just an annual bonus, or maybe 2 chances a year, we give you 4 chances. And as the slide points out, those qualification periods nicely align with the 4 quarters of the calendar year. So you can see over here, in terms of production requirements, you need to hit a minimum of $25,000 of qualified production during that time. And what I mean by that is placed premium. Now, you might be saying, hey, that's a pretty big number, especially within 1 quarter. And it is. But again, I mean, it can be. It's all relative, right? This is going to be something for once you really get rolling with us. And many of you that are listening to this are already writing a lot of business with us, and we appreciate that. And some of you hopefully have already even earned this bonus. But once you earn that $25,000 of placed premium, or you place $25,000 of premium in any one of these quarters, you get a 10% bonus, and it is uncapped, truly uncapped. So the sooner you achieve or reach that $25,000 minimum threshold, the better in each one of these quarters, because that 10% bonus kicks in, and it is uncapped. Placement and persistency, I gotta, sometimes people don't like to talk about this, but I have to tell you that all life insurance carriers, absolutely, including Mutual of Omaha, and rightfully so, we're very focused on quality of business. And quality of business is often measured by placement and persistency, right? And so, high quality business is great for everybody. It's great for the insurance companies. It's absolutely great for you, the writing producer. It's great for the GAs and everybody in the hierarchy. And it's great for your clients ultimately. So we do have some placement and persistency minimums that are requirements that are built into this. The other thing I like about our bonus is that it's not just based on one product. You can see here that our bonuses, in terms of qualifying products, our entire simplified issue product portfolio is available. And in addition, our accidental death product, and then our critical advantage portfolio. For those of you that are health licensed, our critical advantage portfolio is our critical illness portfolio. Very competitive product portfolio, critical illness product portfolio. And that product portfolio is also eligible for this bonus. And then just a little bit of it, just looking back, this goes back to last year, all of 2023, to give you an idea, kind of quantify it, just that, in fact, we are paying out these bonuses at the beginning of each quarter, once a quarter ends. We're writing a lot of large checks, so to speak, and you can sort of see what that is with the average bonus payment of about a little over $6,000, and the largest total combined bonus of $46,000 when this particular individual qualified in all 4 quarters. So you can see it's real. We're very happy to pay this out, and we hope that it adds that additional incentive for you to place business with Mutual of Omaha. With that, I am going to take a big sip of water. I'm going to toss it back over to you, if you will, Brad, and see if you have anything that you would like to share or wrap up with.
Yeah, no, thank you, David. That was awesome. Appreciate you going into detail on your products and how great of a company Mutual of Omaha is. It's been a great relationship for us over the years, and really, I think you summed it up very, very well. One thing you don't have to worry about with Mutual of Omaha is explaining who they are to your clients and the value they get by working with Mutual of Omaha because of their great financial strength and also their great brand. Everybody's aware of who they are. I thought you pointed out some really good things, and I just want to recap a couple of them. With the IULE, how simple that product is, the fact that it's available all the way up to age 75, that there's definitely a range where it makes a lot of sense for you to look at this for your clients. If you guys remember from our previous webinar, how to unlock sales opportunities using the confidential needs analysis, that's one thing that Sean really focused on in that webinar. And he talked about where those sales opportunities come from using the golden question. And again, the golden question is, do you have anything that acts like insurance, not life insurance, but just insurance? And so there was numerous sales opportunities. David, can you go back to that slide where you talked about where the product fits and what type of clients it works for? I just kind of want to reiterate that a little bit, because I think that's a real life scenario where we can show the folks on the call today, where the product fits. Because as you're going through Yep, I see you cycling through here. So as you're going through the fact finder and you're thinking of how can I help my client? Where can I help them be more successful? Where can I leave no need unmet, right? David referred to that. I don't know if I said that right, but so this is really what we're talking about. Here's the target market for this product. So clients looking for permanent coverage at affordable rates. A lot of us that started buying life insurance when we were young, so let's say we're in our 20s or early 20s, or early 30s, somewhere like that, we bought term insurance because it was very affordable, right? So there's a lot of people that are transitioning that need permanent coverage. So this is definitely a great permanent coverage opportunity for them. And then also the final expense play, which I think is brilliant. Sometimes clients need more than what a final expense policy will cover, or they're healthier and can gain access to a more affordable product by buying an IULE rather than using a final expense product. We do a lot of final expense here, so definitely a core part of our business, but sometimes it makes more sense to do a different type of permanent product. Also, parents with young children at home to replace lost income. That's part of just good, sound financial planning. If you've ever known somebody that's died too young, one of the things that helps the remaining part of the family get through it is life insurance, and hopefully we can help our clients fill that gap as well. New home purchases, David touched on this one, how much this makes sense as opposed to a mortgage term product, perhaps, because one thing it does is it covers the need up front, but it allows you to have permanent coverage in the end. And then I should say, everybody loves to have good use of their time, right? And today we're seeing it's more and more important that the process, so getting coverage quickly without a lot of obstacles, is sometimes almost as important as the product itself. So people want to get permanent coverage and they want to do it quickly, and this product offers that as well. And that kind of leads to the bottom one there: people who want permanent coverage but don't like needles or lengthy health exams. So this product helps us get there faster. And the technology has really come a long ways in the industry, in the life insurance industry, where they're allowed or have the ability to underwrite cleaner without using needles or lengthy health exams because of all the data that's out there that they're pulling when they underwrite the application itself. So this webinar was meant to give you ideas, first of all, on where Mutual of Omaha fits into your portfolio for your clients, especially with the IUL Express product, and also to tie it in with, again, with how to unlock sales with using the confidential needs analysis. So hopefully you're seeing that all come together. And again, David, I want to thank you for being on the call today. Thanks to everybody that joined us. And then also I want to make sure that you have contact information for the team. So the fully underwritten life side or simplified issue life insurance that we have here, that works through Kathy, Kelly, and Jacob on the life side. And you can reach them by calling our office or sending them an email. They're always accessible. Then they'll get back to you in a timely fashion as well. So, but we're looking forward to helping you design cases for your clients to fill that gap that they may have in their plan that they're currently working with. So with that, David, I want to thank you again for being on the call, and we'll just wrap it up. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, hey, thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity. And we are here to work closely with you, as Brad just mentioned, and the great team they have at Premier, and help you grow your business. So I appreciate your time and look forward to working with you.
All right. Thanks again, and have a great day.